This is Mani here with episode 33 of our AI GTM Talk series. For those of you who are listening for the first time, we kicked off the series of talks several weeks ago. We found that there's a lot of B2B companies, mid-market, large enterprise, SMB, trying to figure out how to operationalize AI tech, data, tools, apps for go-to-market. They're transforming their entire go-to-market because of AI. So we've been bringing in a series of experts, all the way from CEOs who can go deep into specific areas within the GTM space, and then they're able to do a deep dive. We also bring in folks who are revenue leaders, growth leaders, experts who can talk about how they are transforming their own organizations because of AI. And today, I'm happy to be here with Scott Wyszynski. Some of you may have met him on a prior episode. And I asked Scott to come back because we're doing some interesting things, the folks at Kwanzu with Scott and GTMFI. And this session, we wanted to really go deep. We want to do like a deep dive into how do you operationalize intent and signal data, intent data. There's a lot of innovation that's happened in the signal-based tech in the last couple of years, more so in the last year. And so, Scott, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. So you said experts, and I was like looking around, and I was like, who else is here?
Yeah, no, hopefully this will be a good session, Scott. So I think to tee it up, Scott, what I'm going to do is just to set the context, right? Just put a couple of slides here for folks to, and then of course, there's going to be a lot of demo, a lot of show and tell. I know you've got a lot of things teed up, so I don't want to delay that by any means. This is what folks, we're seeing, which is, and I'm sharing a screen here. It is essentially, let me just make sure it should be coming up. So if you look at what's happening, is that a lot of companies are trying to put together a view of operationalizing the complete person record, if you will, right? And then there's a lot of signals that are available on prospects as well as customers as they engage on your website and also engage off your website. And we're trying to go from this world of disconnected data to a world where you can completely unify all the insights and intent and intelligence you have about your prospects and customers as they're engaging. And along these lines, the one other thing I wanted to quickly show you all is, as you try to do this, there's a lot of different kinds of data that, everybody's trying to piece together. There is the identity of the person who's engaging on your website, or identity of the person who's showing buying interest or intent off your website. So there's a whole identity component. There's company information around that person. There is the engagement that they do, website pages, what pages have they visited, traffic sources, if you're doing paid media and then bringing them in. There's the intent layer in terms of intent topics of interest off your website, scoring them, marking signal strength. And then there is offsite intent that you can pick up, of course, from what they call, certain kinds of intent from these directory sites, software directory sites like a G2 Trust Radius, but then there's intent all across the web. And that's certainly one area that we've been doing a bunch of work here at Kwanzu around capturing offsite intent at a person level. And then there is the social signal, social intent layer, which is what folks might be liking, posting, commenting on LinkedIn, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, the list goes on. So what I'm excited about today is maybe, Scott, we can kick it off because I know we worked with you and we've been working with you on several customers all the way from mid-market to large enterprise. But maybe if you can give folks listening a little bit around the Avanade, engagement we collaborated with you. I think that'd be super interesting for people as we kick it off. In terms of what you're doing with all this intent data, how are you operationalizing it? So, Scott, over to you.
Thanks, Manny. So I think of the intent data and social signals in a couple main buckets. You have your on-site intent, which is direct traffic to your website.
Yeah.
You have your off-site intent, which is sourced through, GTMify has a partnership with Quanzu, and we use their product embedded into ours. So your offsite intent, 90,000 websites, something like 22, 24, 25,000 topic taxonomy. That topic taxonomy gets configured based on your, like, a customer or a client business. Do we want to monitor your competitors? Do we want to monitor keywords within your area of expertise or your specialty or your verticals? From there, what happens is that offsite intent, that's your second bucket. Your third bucket is social signals. So this is your um, person level job changes, company level funding. There's about 12 to 15 at an account or a company level. There's about 6 to 8 at a person or a lead level. So we think of everything at like an account level. The account level has different people in them. Those people are prospects. Both the account and the prospect are going to have different signals that are attributed to them. So if you think of website, that's on-site leads. Off-site is the second leads. And then the third type of product or solution or offering that Quanzu has is the contact monitoring, which aligns very close to one of our use cases, which dovetails nicely into the Avanade use case. So the use case for Avanade was account-based selling. I had 23 accounts, then I was given another 35, and we started off by building a list of those 50 plus accounts that I was given in a defined territory. So the process is you find the decision makers and decision influencers within that 50-person account list relative to the product or service that you're selling. Avanade is a large Microsoft partner that's owned 82% by Accenture. So that list of 50 some accounts, I was looking for CXOs and VPs. Those are my decision makers. Director, senior manager, those are going to be your internal champion. That list was basically built in Sales Navigator, then extracted from Sales Navigator using some other automation and extraction tools. And then we gave that list to Quanzu to basically set up person level monitoring. They call it CRM monitoring, but I was using it for like account prospecting. So what happens is, and Manny, if I can share my screen.
Yeah, yeah. I was giving the top level overview here that you just
Yeah.
recapped, Scott, which is the 3 month POC, and you had three digital sellers. And anyway, yeah.
Yep.
And then
So
the
this
alert.
was, so I didn't see this. So Avanade is a $14 billion Microsoft solution partner. They only do Microsoft. We did the 3-month POC. I had support from 3 digital sellers to support LinkedIn, email, and phone. We started off with 50 accounts. Then we went to 175 accounts. And I think there was like, when we ended, there was 13 or 14,000 target contacts that we were monitoring. On a daily basis, we were getting 25 to 85 alerts from Quanzu that initially we just set up and dropped into a Slack channel, and the digital sellers and I were acting on it. Then once I figured out how to operationalize it at scale, we automated those downstream signals into some other tools that was driving near real-time personalization and outreach at scale based on like a generative go-to-market brain that we built in Octave, and then intent level delivery through Lemlist for email, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp. So it was a pretty successful period. There was those accounts. Microsoft's fiscal year rolls over July 1st. In 8 weeks from when I got those accounts, I had meetings scheduled or meetings had occurred in 60 accounts. I had 14 meetings in 8 weeks. The other 46 meetings were scheduled September to October. So it was a highly effective approach that we, Manny and I, are using for some other clients, and we're in conversations with some other people to do the same type of thing, because the data shows that it works, and we're looking to have some other people take advantage of it as well. And Manny, if I can share, I can show the details if we're
Yes.
interested with like how it all works, like kind of how the sausage is made.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's really what people are interested in, right? I mean, this is all well and good. The people want to know, okay, how do I do this, right? So, and we get that asked that a lot. So, Scott, thank you for coming on and sharing. Kind of laying it out. I mean, it's really nice of you to be willing to open up and share. But yeah, back to you.
Yeah, so if I can share my screen, if this button works, let's see whether I
Yeah,
can do
I,
this.
I just stopped my screen share. Yeah.
So let's see if this works. Does this give me infinite screen? Oh, it does. Look at that. The feature of the infinite screen. All right. So this is our tool, but within it we've embedded Quanzu. And so I have this teed up so I can kind of go through it. So this is on-site intent. I'll go back to this. I want to go through and finish the example of the off-site intent. So
So
basically,
Scott, just real quick for the folks listening, you're showing the Kwanzaa Signals Hub embedded as a white label within the GTMFI set of apps and tools, right, for go to market.
that's here. Yeah. So this is the white label embedded into our product. This is the Quanzu native product with the Signals Hub. I'm going to use this to show everybody the offsite intent. So offsite intent, there's a configuration and setup, sign up, configure intent topics. So we configured a whole lot of intent topics.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Um, Applied lead filters. I wanted everything because I wanted to be able to do the filtering and see all the raw stuff. The leads delivery, we ended up sending it to a webhook and N8N. And then basically this is just viewing the output of the leads. So the example that I always like to give is Abercrombie was one of the target accounts. So Kat Langert, which her information was given to Quanzu saying that, hey, we want to monitor this person. She has some type of role that could be interesting for us to sell into. So first name, last name, we gave Quanzu the email address. When the intent signal came in, he came back and gave us the LinkedIn, the phone number, a more descriptive title, how the seniority is classification, what department she was in, which we'll take note of that. That will come into play later. Company size, but this is the most important thing over here. So this is the signal on the topic that was triggered. So AI omnichannel fulfillment, intelligent store planning, supply chain software, and demand forecasting. So again, Avanade is a Microsoft solutions partner that does a lot of biz apps, which is like ERP, CRM, contact center. So these topics fit right into one of the offerings that Avanade has around supply chain. So what happens is Quanzu sends a downstream signal via a webhook. And what we build out, we use Octave as our generative go-to-market brain. And so here in the Avanade workspace that was set up for this, we build out what the product is. So Avanade as the company is the product per se. This is how we were using this. We're going to go through what the differentiated value is, what the status quo, the challenges that Avanade addresses, the capabilities that they have, like architect and implement complex Microsoft ecosystem integrations, and how the customer benefits. This is just one of the things in the library that gets built out. I built out 16 personas across 8 different functions. Technology, again, this is separated by decision makers, which is your CXOs and VPs, your decision influencers, which is like your directors and senior managers. So remember, Kat over here is a supply chain manager, senior manager of supply chain at Abercrombie. So we're going to go and see what profile that she would have matched up to. Oh, wonderful. This stopped loading. It's probably because one of the co-founders just had a baby 2 days ago. I'm just kidding. Come on, Julian. You're killing me. Live demo stuff always doesn't work. So she matched to operation director. So an operation director, this is a description. This is things that we've made assumptions based on research that I've built out with all of the personas, responsibilities, what are their pain points, what are their key objectives, why we matter to them, why they matter to us, key concerns, and common job titles. Okay. So
So,
Kat, go ahead. I'll pause.
Scott, yeah. So the personas and all this information you have here, um, any of this come native with the tool, or are there things you needed to build out using, some additional work that you did on your side?
Come native with Octave or come native with GTMify?
Correct. So, how much of this was part of the native tool Octave versus how much of this you had to build out as GTMify?
I mean, we
What you
built
all
out
built.
all this. This is all now part of GTMify. So like this, the process of building out these personas based on like the product that's being sold or the service that's being sold into the B2B business, like this
Yeah.
is something that we've built and we do programmatically now.
Okay. Got it. That's all I was clarifying. Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
Octave is basically the tool and the infrastructure that allows us to do this programmatically, and this is where it all lives. And this is all kind of behind the scenes of like how we operationalize it.
Understood.
So Cat flows into an operations director. We have our responsibilities, pain points, objectives, like we all said, common job titles. So now the next thing is these are the use cases. These use cases were aligned to solution offerings or solution plays that Avanade had. And so there's an intelligent inventory optimization one that is what matched with this. So this is a description. This is information that I/the client provided, and we used based on like what their widget, their solution does. These are scenarios, and this is all gleaned from public information or publicly facing case studies, from scraping their website, doing deep research, and then also information that was tagged as the ability to share publicly with clients or prospects. These are the
So,
desired outcome. Go ahead, Manny.
so no, I'm just trying to clarify again. So you're saying that um, the previous step, all the personas, the 16 personas, and what they're about and their details, you guys built it at GTMify and put it into Octave. And then even this step of figuring out all the use cases that are specific to that persona, specific to that company, this is again being constructed or built using AI. And you've done it by basically visiting that particular business's website and there any content offers and assets and things that they had. Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
So anything that's from their website or any information that they provide that's public,
Yeah,
that can be used in like a sales outbound motion.
got it.
So like we ingest all that information, and then this is the output of that information, and then I'll show you how it's then finally used.
Okay, got
Um,
it.
so this intelligent inventory optimization, the desired outcomes, right products, right quantities at the right location and at the right times. The business drivers, these are the primary industries, the solution areas. This is how it was prioritized. And then the different Microsoft technologies that support that, which has also helped to match other signals as well. So I have the product, which is Avanade. I have the persona, which is an operations director. I have the use case, which is intelligent inventory optimization. There's also in the library that the agent can determine to use, like reference customers.
Yep.
These are, again, publicly facing. I'm going to breeze through that. There's also competitors that um, can share like differentiators, comparative strengths. Like if we're targeting competitors or people that are searching on competitors' terms.
Yep.
But the real magic is when this stuff is orchestrated together. So that signal comes in, the system, this is all, these are what's called playbooks. These playbooks were built out using like a process that we built on deep account research and then a cost of doing nothing analysis. The cost
Hmm.
of doing nothing analysis and a sales methodology, we use the challenger sale methodology.
Hmm.
And what it's actually doing is instead of talking about project investment in an ROI terms, we're talking about it in terms of what happens if you maintain your status quo today. What is the
Yep.
opportunity cost of doing nothing? And so basically, all of that deep account research, the cost of doing nothing analysis with this challenger sale methodology is kind of all um, processed, inferred, and then these account specific playbooks for those initially say 50 and then 175 were built. So there's a research agent, there's a cost of doing nothing agent that both do those things and that processing of all of that information, like going out and getting like 10K and 10Q and all of that. And they're set to run on a like a schedule or a trigger based on account level signals. So that's how you're tying all this stuff together. So that will rerun, that will feed in new information, and your executive summary could change. Your key insights could change based on news or events, mergers and acquisitions, leadership changes. And then the most important thing is down here is we build an approach angle for how we're going to approach different executives within the organization, and also based on how the product or service is being used or positioned. So we build this approach angle. So now the signal comes in, it picks Avanade in the workspace, it picks the operations director, it picks the intelligent store planning, and it's going to map through the Abercrombie playbook. And then there's agents within Octave. There's a sequence agent, which runs the intent-based account outreach for email. So this is an email step agent that's just writing email copy and subject lines for Avanade cold email. Then there's another agent that's just building messaging for LinkedIn. There was two other ones, but I deleted them. I was playing with other stuff. There's a WhatsApp agent that's creating WhatsApp message copy around best practice for WhatsApp. And then there's also a fourth one that's creating cold call transcripts for, in this case, it was me doing the cold calling. Now you have all of that content. I'll pause.
Yeah. So Scott, I mean, this question comes up a lot, so I'm going to ask you, which is, should companies be doing all this before the SDR is going to pick up the phone and start cold calling? I mean, and is it scalable? Is this something you can do at scale? Is it something where you can do? I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, a lot of this you've automated. Obviously, it's not going to work without the automation, but can you talk to that, please? Which is, you did a lot of this even before you made the calls, right? So you had the proper personalized messaging happening through LinkedIn, emails, and so forth with the calls.
All of this was done as foundational work before I made the first phone call.
That's amazing. Yeah, keep going.
Setting this up, I mean, like as a net new thing, like I was building this separate from GTMify for Avanade. I mean, this took me like probably 6 weeks to set up to get all this stuff going. But this was all set up prior to making the first phone call.
Okay.
Because with 175 or 23 or 50, you have a very limited TAM. And if you just blast your TAM with emails and phone calls and LinkedIn messages, you're at risk of burning your TAM. And for a company that has a high average deal size and a long deal cycle, you want to be very surgical in how you approach them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 5 minutes and then I have to drop, and I'll show everybody like this is basically all the content and copy generation for all the messaging and outreach. And then from here, we float everything into Lemlist. And so what it is in Lemlist is has email, has phone. There's different sequences here. So like this is a tool that runs multi-channel orchestration. So this is they get a LinkedIn message, then they creates a call for a task, and then I have like the call transcript separate. This creates an email, then another call, then we leave a voice message, and you can create a clone with um, Lemless. You can create a clone of your voice, or you can record manually. So you can automate at scale personalized voice messages, then another email, then a chat message, then another email, all the way down. And like for this account now, this is not set up anymore, but like you have the ability to add WhatsApp to it as well. My cookie, it looks like expired. So you can add WhatsApp to it as well. And then you need a business number to be able to do it. And you're kind of off and running. And so this is totally scalable. Like I was doing it for 23, then 50, then 175 accounts. And we had an intention on rolling it out for the entire organization until we missed our year and there was some internal changes. And I was a victim of that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what this is like what we do and how we partner with Quanzu to operationalize that intent data. It works the same exact way or a very similar way when you have on-site intent.
So,
The different
yeah.
Go
So,
ahead.
Scott, the 2 minutes we have, talk about social signals and what would be similar or different to the offsite signals we're getting now from these 90,000 different media sites. How do you see that working differently or similarly?
Um, so as far as social signals go, and I can stop sharing.
Yeah.
As far as social signals go, social signals are going to be things like, um,
Posts and likes
uh,
and comments. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, there's social signals in terms of like interaction in content, but like at an account level, I think of social signals or firmographic signals being like what is their tech stack, uh, what have how have they been mentioned in the news both positively and negatively, like are they a non-public company and do they have any fundraising activity. One of the things that's really interesting to do is as you publish more content, so we firmly believe in 3 pillars: content, outbound, and intent. And so as you publish more content, you get more profile views. So one of the things that we do is we extract your profile views, we ICP qualify them, and then they go into a separate sequence. Um, like other account signals would be like milestones, like job postings at a company, like leadership changes, people who follow your company at a company level. One of the best things to do is like, what are your competitors doing? What are the competitors? What type of engagement are they doing? What type of content are they publishing? So those are some of the account signals. Like individual lead signals from social would be champion tracking, like job changes, job title changes, department changes, seniority, things of that nature. And then also like content engagement would be another signal as well too. So how is the content that you're either publishing or the content that you're interacting with from other people that are either thought leaders, competitors, like what is happening with that? Like how is that driving your inbound motion? And that inbound motion drives people to your website, it drives people to your LinkedIn profile. And then what are you doing with that data? How are you extracting it and then operationalizing it in a similar way?
Yeah, there's definitely lots of opportunity there, Scott, which maybe we'll cover in a separate session. But I know we're coming up on time, and um, really appreciate it. And so, folks, we'll continue the conversation, and we'll wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes. Um, so, Scott,
Thanks.
thanks again.
Thanks, Manny, for having me. Bye.
Absolutely. So, I think while Scott will drop off, I'll just take a couple of minutes as we wrap up, really just to kind of fill you folks in on what are we trying to do with this series of sessions. And then specifically, you just heard from Scott. I'll give you how you can reach him, get a hold of him. I'll just put that slide up. So this is Scott Wyszynski. You just heard from him, and then this is his LinkedIn. This is his email. So hopefully that's helpful. We are going to continue the series of talks, bringing in experts, doing deep dives, try to explain how, similar to what we're doing with Scott, you all can build a signals hub. You can operationalize the hub. You can basically have outbounds, very effective outbound that you're able to execute on. Also able to feed the signals hub into a larger, for example, at a mid-market company we're working on. How do you feed that into a larger uh, data warehouse, data lake, like a intelligence hub, if you will, about prospects, about customers. And there's just a lot more that we're going to be covering in the upcoming sessions. So that's it. Thanks everyone for joining today. And that concludes episode 33 of AI GTM Talks.